This is Dan Lawson with the Alliance for American Manufacturing. I'm out here today in Skowhegan, and I'm talking to Nicole Brown, who is a resident of the community out here. Nicole, can you tell me a little bit about what you do and your family situation?
Sure. Well, I grew up in the area, in Albion, graduated from high school, moved away for a while, and I've now moved back over this past summer to take a job doing community building and working with community institutions on what do they want for these communities. And so a big part of my job is talking with folks and working in particular with churches on what they're doing in the community and how we can work together and do it better.
And you moved back, you have an 8-year-old son, is that correct?
I do. My son and I moved back last summer to Somerset County. We live in Fairfield.
And you have a connection to the mill?
I do, yeah. My uncle has worked at the mill for as long as I can remember. And his son works there now, and his daughter works in the HR department, so yeah.
And this, the problem that's going on right now that can vastly affect the mill, the dumping of paper by China and Indonesia. How do you see, if something isn't done and the mill has to take downtime, or, you know, worst case scenario, that they have to shut down, how do you see that affecting the community?
I mean, I would directly affect my family. I'm 3 people. My family would be unemployed, and they don't live right here in Skowhegan. They live in the Albion, and so, and that's the case with people who work in the mill. They work everywhere, and they're contributing to the local economy, to the local communities, you know, in a 30-mile radius of here. And if all of those people lost their jobs, there's not another industry that's going to be able to employ them, which is going to only add to the economic stresses these communities are facing right now. After school programs are being cut. You know, you've got almost every church in this area is giving out free clothing 2 days a week right now. It's moved from food cupboards to warming centers to homeless shelters to now we're giving out free clothing. And the question is, why do so many people need free clothes? And why do so many people need food in 2010? And if you were to take a company that employs 2,000 people with good, solid jobs, it's really, if you look at the community, the economic base, that structure is almost, it's foundational to everything else. From schools to churches to community associations to downtown businesses to, I mean, my biggest concern is I have a 3rd grader, and his education is the most important thing to me, and I don't mind paying property taxes because I know when he goes to school he is a fantastic teacher, and I recognize that in 15 years when Parker's going to be looking, you know, is 18, 22, looking for work, he's not going to land a good paper job like most of the men in my family were able to do, making shoes or making paper or making shirts. That's not going to happen. He needs an education. And if the tax base is cut, I mean, the schools are scrambling for money right now, and the stimulus money is running out next year. You take away the foundation of the economy, and it's over. It's over.
The services, as you were talking, you know, that a lot of the mill, the employees from the total mill, they give to the United Way, they give to groups. If all of a sudden that money dried up, and in services, if there was a shutdown, services would have to increase, which would mean less for everyone, correct?
It'd be less for everyone, but also it would be a higher cost to maintain services like plowing roads, even, you know, education aside. What's going to happen when it snows and you can't afford to put salt and sand down or plow the roads because you don't have any tax base to pay for those things? And
if something was to happen like that, though, where would people have to go for work?
I don't know. And that's the scariest part of all of this, is there's nowhere. There's nowhere. Where would people go? I don't know.
If you were able to tell International Trade Commission, your feelings on this, what would you ask them to do for us?
I would ask them to place a tariff on Indonesia and China because it's unfair. It's unfair to the town of Skowhegan and every town in a 30-mile radius. It's not right. They need to put a tariff on it. It needs to be even. They need to be able to come into this country. They want to sell their paper in this country, that's fine. I'll buy American-made paper every day. I won't buy paper made from China. That's fine. You can sell your paper here. But you can't come in and undercut these communities. It's not right. It's not right.
Nicole, I really want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend with us and have this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Dan.